What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Farming Simulator 15. Today's episode, I'm going to quickly go over some basics here, and then basically what you can do to kill time. Now, you can kill time two ways with this game. You can either A, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, you can speed time up. 120 is the max you can go. Default button is 8 to go higher on your keyboard, and 7 to go back down. Of course, 1 is basically real time, so you know, it takes forever. So if you've got crops and you want to have them fully grown within, 10-15 minutes, however long it takes, and I planted some corn already, and it's been a little bit, so it's still growing, but if you want to have it ready within a few minutes, just speed the time up. The other thing that you can do is you can go ahead and take some crop, and as you can see here, went too far. You start off with a lot of basics here: wheat, barley, canola, corn, the same thing, potatoes. You got basic numbers here. And the one thing you can do right as you start is get in your tipper while your harvesters are still harvesting. Take some of this barley, this wheat, and this canola. It's usually not going to pay out a whole lot of money. It's not going to be a big deal. You don't want to use other things like potatoes, sugar beets. Obviously, you cannot use wood chips. But you don't want to use sorghum. You can probably use sugarcane. Those are items that aren't going to have a very high return, especially for only having 8,900 or 8,200 in your storage. So you can empty these out, run over here to the seed plant, and then pull up to the front in that little hopper right there, and offload it. And you'll see the seed pile up right there in your window, and then you can just come along with your truck. After a while, whether you speed it up or not, and it's going to turn purple like that, as you see in that window. Just come along and you fill it up. You can come over here to the machine, walk up next to this box, and you'll see I have 88,000 on the seed there. It was almost full, so this will fill this truck up. Now what I plan to do here is I'm going to disperse this seed to various different farms here. There are multiple farms: red, white, purple, green, blue, and yellow. And I'm going to probably put seed on 3 of them. I already have some here on the purple farm right down there in the center by V. And I'm probably going to put some over there in the red farm area, as well as the white farm or green or yellow farm. Haven't quite decided. But I'm going to put seed in those other areas because that's where I'm also going to grow crops. Since I already have the fields, you can see up in like the upper left-hand side there, field 9 and field 10. Those are fields I already own, just like in the right-hand corner, 76 and 77. So might as well use those fields while I have them, right? Rather than going out and dropping the money and buying new ones. So that's going to continue to fill up. Where am I at here? How full am I? Okay, we're good. So let me jump around here and show you what else you can do while you're waiting for your seeds to be made or crops to grow or whatever. One thing you can do is you can get yourself one of these. This is the Krone Big X 1100, as you see on the side. It has a 40,000 capacity. But then I hooked it up to this big guy, the 150,000 capacity trailer. With that chute on there, I can come over here, and this is the biomass plant, and you have all this green field here to go ahead and grow and do whatever you want. And so why not just cut the grass? This chaff, the grass that you're going to cut, will be dumped into the biomass plant, and that will then be compacted and turned into silage. Silage that you can dump into a couple hoppers there, which I'll show you here in a minute. You can dump those in there and get money for it, and it's a decent amount of money. It's nothing to write home about, compared to the mining, but it isn't bad, and it also can be used for fertilizer, which, although I do not have any ready, at another time I will show you that. The fertilizer can be used with Actually, that John Deere seeder I have, that I might have shown already, I'm not sure. If I haven't, I'll go back to it real quick here. I can use that in that seeder because I can either put seed or fertilizer in there and, you know, take care of the fields. So I'm planting corn and whatever else I want with fertilizer. That's messed up, but it works. So I'm going to turn this off here. I just want to do a quick pass. 36,000 in the trailer. So I'm going to come over here, and these bins here you're going to fill up. And it holds, well, I think it was 600,000. And you'll see here when I pull in, I have 379,000 in there right now. It's 42% full, and it's compacted at 39 and going up. Once that number is all the way up to 100% compacted, 99% compacted, you'll see another option come up. And I know on the keyboard, I think it's R for me, but it doesn't show up as R in the help window there. But you do that, and then you'll see a white tarp show up on top of the chaff once it's been all compacted. And what that will do is you hit R, it covers the whole thing in a white tarp, and then you have to sit there and wait. So that is another time-consuming thing. But see, you've got 4 bins here to play with. You've got plenty of time to go ahead and go back out and cut the grass. I mean, look at all the field. It goes all the way back there to the rock, all the way out there, all the way down there. And of course, you can also cut the grass around your farms as well. Plenty of areas to get grass, no big deal. But you're going to go ahead and do that, and you're going to hop into your loader. There we go. You'll hop into the loader, go in there, scoop it up, and then you're going to come over here to these 2 hoppers right here. It doesn't matter which one you fill. In fact, with the bucket on that cat, I can position it right here dead center, and it'll fill both of them up. So even if you dump into this one will show up as well. It only holds 20,000 though, and it takes a while to chew through it. So you're going to dump off, fill it up to 20,000, and then you're going to go ahead and do whatever else you want to do, and then come back in a couple minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, and it'll all be gone. But you get your money right away. And right now, let's take a look real quick. Silage, I think it's all the way at the bottom. Wish I could just scroll through here. Silage is paying $1,500 per. So not a bad payout for it at 20,000 units that you get out of it. So that's the silage part, and like I also said, you can use that as fertilizer, and the fertilizer plant is down there dead center at N where the shell plant is. So let's take a hike back over that way. I still got some seed in there, so I'm gonna have to pull up with the other trailer. And it starts to fill it automatically. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. It'll fill up on its own, and it'll stop on its own, or when it's empty. So I think I'm just about done. Sometimes, even though you're done filling up, that spout will continue to go. Oh, it stopped, so that means I am done. So let's try to hang a hard U-turn through here. Okay, so I've already got seed in this field, this area here, so I'm gonna race. Well, you know what? I'll do that later. Screw it. I'm in no hurry for it. So if you got your sorghum and you got corn and you got your sugar cane, you can come over here and dump it into the shell plant. This first one here is where your sorghum is gonna go. You're gonna pull right up, unload. You'll see these 4 silos here fill up. As you see, I've already filled up the sorghum here. And I've got 170,000 in that one. And here's the sugar cane, 170,000 in that one. And here's the corn, still 0 because, well, I wasn't paying attention and I accidentally put the corn in the seed plant. So that's why I have to turn around and make more corn. So once that's all grown up, I'll dump it into this one, and then it should start producing fuel. It's a little time consuming, so don't expect it right away. But as you can see over here on the meter, that looks like it's okay. It's just showing up weird. As you see, there it is down there: sorghum, sugarcane, nothing for corn, and then fuel will show up right here. Once you have fuel, you can get your tanker. I usually use the the dolly version that you can pull behind a pickup truck. And you just pull in right over here, and it'll automatically fill it up. You will need the tractor-trailer tanker, though, if you're going to fill up the red fuel tanks that are located at every farm, as well as other areas, like at the biomass plant. You have another one there as well. Let's see what else we got here. So many options. Oh, there's my truck. That's not what I wanted. I think I want this one. You can also start building buildings. I've already dropped off one load over here, and this was the cement plant. And so you'll go back over to your mine, and you fill up with your gravel, and you also need sand for this first set. Phase 2 will require stone. And, well, honestly, I don't know what Phase 3 requires, but I know Phase 2 is stone and wood boards. So you'll pull in. These piles won't be here. It'll be just empty land. You'll unload, and as you can see on the project screen there, I've got project at 0, foundation at 0, sand, gravel, total for both of those. So I will end up having to put in, I think it's 500,000 of sand and gravel, and then it'll take its time doing project first phase, project 1. You'll see fences go up, and you'll see the numbers change there to how much the foundation's done. That's the first project there. So eventually that'll be done, and then I have to bring in stone as well as the boards and build the place up, and then eventually it'll be open for business. I supply it with the materials it requires, and in turn it gives me cement. Cement I can go ahead and use at other locations where you see these letters. I think there's another one, L, B, G at the top. You know, there's different areas here where you can supply cement that you will need for building. Some areas won't need it, some of them will. Now, also, there is another way to get the material that you want, your sand, your coal, and so on. I don't know if I can just cut straight through here or not. Yeah, I think I can. There are two areas here on this map. One's in the north, and we're going to the one here in the south, where, say you don't want to truck all that stuff from the mine over to here. It is going to be kind of a pain in the ass if you're doing it all by yourself. It's going to take a lot of time, so make sure you put aside a lot of time to do that. But you can come to one of these areas that I'm coming up to here, and for a small fee, it will fill your vehicle up. Now it goes to about 95%. Anything... Why did I... Okay. What was this here? I forget what was. I think it was an alcohol place. Future Home in Sam Adams. Yep. What do we need here? Sand, gravel, cement. That's it, and that'll start the whole process on that one. But see that up there? You see those piles? So if you don't want to go to the mine back and forth, and you've got the extra cash to do it yourself, you can just come right over here. And I think I've got the extra cash to do it. I honestly don't remember how much it costs. There are hours though, so they might not be open right now. Let's take a look here and see. I want, yep, 8 to 6. So you're going to pull up into one of these areas here, and that'll trip it. The machine will start going, you'll start filling it up, and once they get to 95%, then it'll stop. Now, it could go more than 95%, but it will not dump anything more in there. So if you're at 94%, you're going to get another scoop, another bucket. If you're already at 95, well, it's going to stop right there. So then it makes it, that's a little bit easier going from there and back, because then you don't have to go all the way back up to the mine, back down. It is a shorter trip. So I'm going to bring this back over to the construction site, and then we will move on to another thing that you can do. I didn't realize that county fair was so damn big. I really wish you could cut down this tall grass here, but you can't. it stays. I believe that's fixed in the PV Rivers map that's coming out sometime next month, hopefully. Now, also, the other thing you can do is you can go back to mining. I mean, there is a lot of stuff to be mined up there, a lot of sand to go through and things like that. So there's always that option as well. Filling up those hoppers and whatnot so you can be prepared next time. So then you can just drive down, pick up what you need, and drive out. But moving on, here's the... Got a Stinger 620 and that John Deere Cedar. Accident. Oh, I don't want to hire anyone. So, but there's the boom. There's the whole thing unfolding there. Now, the one thing to keep in mind if you do buy this one, the Cedar boom will not drop on its own when you hire a worker. You have to do it yourself. As you can see, it's dropping down. It will not do it on its own with hiring someone. So you have to drop it, then hire someone, and then bring it back up and fold it up when you're done. This thing holds 22,000 on the seed. It comes with 5,000 already preloaded. So when you buy it, you can go ahead and start planting whatever. Just keep in mind, some seed is going to go through faster than others. Corn, good seed to use. It'll last forever. Sorghum goes through it real quick. You're probably going to get one field done, and you're going to have to come back and get more seed. And actually, I can get some seed right now because I already dumped some off in this. Oh, my truck is still there. I already dropped some seed off. One thing to keep in mind, when you're bringing your vehicle in, try to stay away from that spout right there. You're coming in to drop seed, get as close to that thing as you can. Because if you're out there, you can still offload, but if you're far enough out, there's a possibility that as you're offloading, it'll start reloading you with the seed that it processes. Seed has to get processed twice in order to be usable. Also keep that in mind over here as well with the fertilizer. You can drive underneath it and it will start throwing fertilizer into your hopper or into your dump truck or whatever you're driving. So be mindful of that when you're moving around those areas. You don't want to fill something up with something you don't want and then either not be able to get it out or be stuck with it or have to find somewhere to put it. We run back over here and fill this thing up. Let's see, this one I do want underneath it. And it fills up a little weird. You'd think if it was to hit those tanks, it would fill up, but no. I have to wait until I get to the backside. Now, I don't know how much seed I had in here. Oh, alright. It's still processing some. I have a total of 27,000 seed in there, though. So that's going to be enough to fill this thing up another time. I'm full down there, as you can see, 22,000. Now, this cedar is great for bigger fields. Not so much for fields that are next to obstructions, like the field I'm going to show you here. It works out great because it gets it done nice and fast, but it's not great because there are some obstacles for it that it has to deal with, and it doesn't do very well with that. The AI for the worker that you hire isn't completely stupid. It will run into something, so if it drives itself into, say, the fence down there, then it will sit there and spin its tires and try to drive, and then it'll realize, okay, I'm stuck, and it will move itself out, and then turn again, and then start all over. So it can get itself out of a jam there, but if it gets stuck on a tree, or like one of these lights right there, no, it's not going anywhere. It's just, if I could speak right now, it's just going to sit there. So keep that in mind. So like what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to do one pass down this way, and then I'm going to turn the whole vehicle around and then go that way. Just so I can avoid those. So I want to select my seed as well. Wrong button, there we go. Let's see. That's mallet, cotton, there's sorghum. Do I want to go with sorghum? I think I'll go with sorghum. I could do cotton. Cotton regrows, so once you harvest it, you don't have to reseed it, it will regrow itself. But I think for now, just because I want to get some more fuel going, and I really have nothing else in mind to do as of yet, because I'm still doing other things, I'll go ahead and start doing that. So I'm going to lower the boom and send him on his way. As you can see, it's cultivating and seeding at the same time. Not all seeders do this. So, depending on the seeder you buy, if it's not this one, if it starts to seed and then stops after a couple feet, chances are it's not a cultivating seeder. So you're going to have to get a plow or cultivator, cultivate it, and then come back and reseed it. Not a big deal, a little time consuming, but that's the way it goes. Unless you get something like this one or a couple other John Deeres that are in the modded area of the store, then you should be good to go. Okay, so I'm going to fire him. I'm going to bring that up real quick. Now, I love this tractor pulling this thing because some tractors don't do very well when it comes to pulling this large seeder. I've had others. I've had some. I'm going to hit. Oh, I went right through it. Good. Oop, went too far anyway. Some seeders cut the corner too close, in which case I'm missing gaps or the seeder isn't making the proper turn. Others are too... Oh, see, I didn't... Stop. Can I back up that far? This is going to be tricky. Oh, starting to turn. Yep. I should be alright. Drop that and go. Some of them turn too sharply, some of them turn too far out, in which case you're missing gaps. The AI, when it comes to hiring workers and turning these things, whether it's one of these and you're planting or even a combine, it's not very brilliant, it's not very smart. So you're going to have times where you're missing areas because it was turning and for some reason, you know, it turned too sharply. Then you find yourself having to go back and harvest those areas that it missed. Depending on, I mean, if you really want it, you don't have to, but something I usually do because it's a couple dozen liters or you know whatever that you miss out on, and sometimes that can make a difference. Now, as you saw though, dust particles were still kicking up, so it does not lift the seeder boom up, it keeps it down the whole time. And why did that not plant? That's going to be annoying. There's another one. Must be just a glitch or something. Yep, that's plenty of room, as you saw right down there, for him to make this turn. Now, if I didn't plant that one area, he'd be basically to the tree, and then he'd be turning around in the tree right now. So I can let him go do his own thing, and where were we? Of course, we already mentioned you can go ahead and do the mining. I've got the mining equipment over there. And the thing that everyone's probably been looking forward to doing, and that's working on the trees. Now, I've already messed around with this a little bit. The setup I have is a little different than I'm used to. I do have the Ponzi Scorpion, as well as the Buffalo here. The Buffalo I find really great for moving logs around. So, which I'm going to do here in a minute. Now, this little machine on the back of this dump truck I have never used before. It is a little awkward because you grab Actually, I might be able to go ahead and do that now without using this thing. Because you come around and you grab it with that hook, you drop it on this conveyor belt, and it, pushes it up into that, into the can there. The chewer, the eater. Let me lift up, fold up the feet. Nice little animation going on there. So let's pull this around. Now there is one another crusher that you can use. It's actually called the crusher. I prefer not to use that thing because it is glitchy as hell. You move the crane and the thing is skipping all over the damn place. Why am I sliding so much? Positioning here is kind of key. So let's try this again. I think I'm too close, but... Now the downside is I wish... Oh, there is a camera there. But that's not movable. Let's see. Now the controls on this one were a little different than they were on the Scorpion. Oh, it helps if I turn it on, huh? Alright. Oh, doesn't want to go higher. There we go. Oh, I'm going to lose this one, aren't I? Yes, I am. Ah, there we go. I couldn't... Yeah, like I said, the controls are different on this one, so... It's move up with the joystick, not twist in. Stop swinging. Bring it in. There we go. And that's throwing everything right into the truck. Now this is going to be used for a couple different things. You're going to use it as a product up there at the Cogen plant, which I think is at I, upper center of the map. You're also going to use it in sawmills. Now, I tried using coal. I thought it was coal, but you use wood chips at the sawmills to power the sawmills so you can go ahead and make your boards. So, you're basically going to have one of these things. Unless, you don't plan on cutting down wood. But, I gotta admit, it is kind of, a little relaxing, a little fun to do. When the machinery works right. And a lot of this is pretty tedious though when it comes to mapping everything out. So be prepared to spend a little time doing that. Going in and out of the game over and over and over, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And also being in-game like I am right now and trying to figure out what is what. Now see, that one dropped off. But it's going to suck that one in still, so now I gotta try to sit here. Pick this one up and bring them in again. I'm not going to say I'm getting the hang of it, because as soon as I do that, I will completely screw up again. I'll tell you what, this thing is pretty freaking smooth though, it's nice. Come on. cooperate with me. I know you don't want to die, but you have to. No! You... I'm so gonna burn you. I don't think I have it. All the way out on this one. Turn a little bit. Oh! No, it just went off farther. Let's go all the way out. Aha! Gotcha, you little bastard. Oh. Come on. There we go. Beautiful. Up to 14,000 now. So, as you can see, yeah, that's one thing you guys can do. Let me shut this thing down. And I will show you real quick the log cutting aspect of this. This one can be a little bit annoying as well. I mean, just working this thing and turn this on, change the cut length to 5 meters. There's really no difference on the cut length here. I mean, oh, I'm really having to reach out to that one, huh? Might get it down a little far. I don't like leaving a huge stump. I mean, you can go smaller. It might make it a little easier to work with. 5 seems to be a decent setup. But this is the thing that a lot of people like to do in their game. There's a lot of people that... And there are even maps set up to this. That's all they do, is they cut wood. On our Evil PC gaming server, there's a guy that he came out here, that's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to farm. He doesn't want to cut grass, go mining, nothing. He says, I'm just here to cut wood. That's all I like doing, that's all I enjoy doing, and that's all I would like to do. So we said, okay, you know, you can, you know, here's a little bit of starting cash, and go ahead and get started over there in that area, and, you know, and off he went. I hate those little nubbies. But that's pretty much the gist of it, folks. I mean, there's plenty to do here to keep yourself entertained, to help kill time when you're waiting for things to get done. You know, if you're not one that wants to speed up time to, you know, so you can harvest a little sooner, this is one of the few things that you can do. But, you know, eventually time is going to be something you don't have. And once you start getting more fields to work with and you start doing other projects and building businesses and things like that, you know, you're not going to have time to be goofing around or whatever else. You're going to have to do stuff because you need to do stuff so you can do more stuff. So, say goodbye to what free time you have left once you start getting involved with this. I mean, you could just go ahead and, you know, cut down wood, take it to the train, send it out. That's all, but there's so much here to do. There just really is. But that's it for now. Until then, guys, thanks for watching.